My dear friends, once again, hope this finds you well. Hope you had a meaningful and powerful Tisha B'Av. And now that we emerge from Tisha B'Av, we begin the process of what's called the Shiva D'Nechemta, the 7 weeks of comfort, of comforting, where Hashem, in essence, is pulling us back in towards Him, drawing us towards Him after the times of separation during the 3 weeks, of course, culminating in Tisha B'Av. Now we begin the process of comfort, of pulling us close. And these 7 weeks are, of course, a march, a movement towards the high holidays, towards Rosh Hashana, Yom Kippur, Sukkot. They're just around the corner. And I know that many of you, especially those of you here in Victoria, Melbourne, we're looking at the calendar and we're wondering what's going to be. What's going to be with Rosh Hashana this year? What's going to be with Yom Kippur? And unfortunately, as we get even closer and you know, the cases of COVID-19 stay high, the good likelihood is that we will not be having shul on Rosh Hashana, Yom Kippur. And if we do, it'll be for limited numbers. And people might feel, well, what's going to be with Rosh Hashanah this year? What's going to be? Well, just like Pesach and Shavuot were interrupted and shifted and we had to adapt, so too that's the case with Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur. And there's different ways that we can look at it. We can feel like we're being pushed away. We can feel like this year is going to be less than. But it, I believe, is an opportunity for us to really dig deep. It's possible we're not going to have the external inspiration of uplifting tefillot, of hundreds of people singing together. We're going to have to find it within. But that process does not begin in Elul. It does not begin the week before Rosh Hashanah. It does not begin on Rosh Hashanah. That process really begins right now, of us thinking somehow how we can make little steps, gradual steps every day to begin doing the inner work, moving forward towards Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur. Those days, of course, are the climax of the Jewish year, but they start the Jewish year. They start it off. And yes, the tools that we normally have will not be at our disposal, although we don't know. Who knows? Who knows what's going to be? But it's our responsibility, each of us as individuals, to begin that inner work. You know, there's times which we feel like Hashem's not answering our prayers. We ask for things over and over and over again, but yet seemingly nothing's happening. And that can be disheartening. We can feel like Hashem is pushing us away, like He doesn't want us. But we can learn from Moshe Rabbeinu. We know, of course, Moshe called out to Hashem in this week's Parsha. He describes how when he was told that he wasn't going to enter the land of Israel, he began to daven. 515 times he davens. And our sages say, if only he would have davened one more time, then Hashem said, fine, I would have let you in. It's a strange idea. But what we learn from there is Moshe's praying 515 times. You would think he'd give up, right? Give up after 100, 200. No. Moshe continues to pray, and the Mei Hashiloach, the Ishbitzer Rebbe, says something remarkable. This is something remarkable. He says that the word, Moshe says, Vaetchanan el Hashem ba'etahi, and I supplicated to God at that time. The Ishbitzer says, Vaetchanan is Lashon hitpa'el. It's reflexive. It was something happened to him. And I, as he would explain it, and I was filled with prayer, the Ishbitzer says. I was filled with prayer. Moshe was saying that I had this experience of just prayer was coming through me. I just kept on praying and praying and praying and praying. But yet his prayers weren't answered. And Moshe learned from there a powerful lesson that he was to come to teach Am Yisrael that even when it seems like our back's up against the wall and that there's no possibility for salvation, even when it seems like our prayers aren't being answered, keep praying. Find that ability to keep praying, to keep pushing yourself in prayer. Because it's that act of prayer that is really what matters. It's not the result necessarily. It's about forging that relationship with Hashem. And Moshe said Hashem was filling me with prayer. He was making me pray. And any time we find that inner desire to pray, that's as if God is saying, okay, I want you. Because we found that space within us to reach out to Hashem. Prayer, Rosh Hashana, Judaism, it's about relationships. It's about human relationships. And it's about a relationship between me and God, between you and God, between human beings and their Creator. Judaism says something remarkable. It says that though God is beyond all time and all space, and God is beyond anything that we can possibly imagine, transcends all of reality, but yet he is immanent. He is right here, he is right here, he is right here. He's in space, he's in time, and he cares about us deeply. Our job right now as we move towards Rosh Hashana, we move through these 7 weeks of comfort and feel Hashem draw us close. Our job is to kind of open ourselves up to that, to be a bit more sensitive to that, to call out to Hashem, to build our inner awareness, to build our inner space. This year's Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur are going to be different, there's no doubt. But the world more than ever needs our prayers, needs your prayers. So let's together do our work separately in our own homes, but we're in this together. Please God, Hashem should answer our prayers to bring healing, health, redemption, and Mashiach. Mashiach Tzidkenu, may he come and redeem all of humanity speedily in our days. Shabbat Shalom.